Welcome, this is my randomology where we're going to find out if there is in fact a difference between an homage and a ripoff. So, The Woman in the Window. I've actually been kind of excited to see this one because it has Amy Adams, Gary Oldman. Looks like a pretty good cast. And full disclosure, I actually watched this in full last night. I did a whole recording reacting to it. It came out really, really good. I had some good reactions, if I may say so myself. And then I look at the recording this morning because I ended up ending kind of late. And nothing that I recorded had any audio. Mic was plugged in, I could see the decibels on the board, but there was no audio whatsoever in what I recorded. So 2 hours of work just gone. So this is going to be not a reaction, well, maybe a reaction still. I've only seen it once, but it'll also be kind of a running commentary, kind of thinking back on some of the stuff that I saw. I can explain it, I think, a little bit better from a writing perspective, from a storytelling perspective. So this is not the first time that I watched this. I watched it, so long ago, 24 hours ago. So full disclosure, it is not entirely a first-time reaction. It's still a pretty good movie, so if you're ready, let's get to it. The first time I saw this scene, I made a joke about, we're hitting ludicrous speed. And then we get to the end and you find out what happened, and I felt like a dick. Where's the other half of that cat's face?
Hey, Slugger.
I wish you were here.
Who does that help? Saying that.
I can beat myself up if I want.
Go for it. It's just an audience of one.
That conversation's a lot more significant, actually, now that I know what's happening.
Why not?
People who snoop on their neighbors don't kill themselves?
No, sometimes they kill the people that are living next door.
I think you're reading into it.
I've been a shrink for 15
Lunch wine.
years.
I know you're not supposed to drink on it.
They always say that.
Side effects doctors, what do they know? So does no one in this neighborhood know about this advanced technology called drapes and blinds? Like, she's looking at everybody on the street.
I'm not really a visitor so much. I'm kind of more like a neighbor.
Except that, in the literal term, you are her neighbor.
No, they don't live here. We're separated.
Yep, really separated. Very separated.
Goodbye, Punch. I'm sorry I'm so allergic to you.
Why didn't you say something?
Oh, I don't want to offend him.
He's not that sensitive.
That line's still funny the second time.
See you around?
Yeah, see you.
And if I see you first, which I will, all the time, from my window. God, she goes through wine like an Olive Garden on a Friday night.
Outside.
I totally didn't recognize
I'm not going to give out candy. I'm going to turn the lights out and pretend.
Wyatt Russell when I first saw him. Maybe because he looks so different every time he's in a shot in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just didn't recognize him here either.
Let your mind go back to your child. You lived somewhere. You had a mother. You were loved. You had friends.
See, the movies are having us hear dialogue that is relevant to her mental state at the time. And some of them are Hitchcock movies, so it's really not a ripoff. It's very meta. I mean, you're suffering from panic attacks that don't let you go out, and you want to go out on Halloween while kids are throwing eggs at it. That's the hill you want to die on.
I can't go outside.
Oh. You're stuck inside this shitty house. Oh.
Shitty house. My apartment probably fits in her kitchen. That thing's huge.
When you have a kid, you say, my kid, my guy, like he's yours, like it belongs to you. That's not really how it feels. You belong.
Yep. Everything belongs to them. You, your partner, everything in the house belongs to the kid. Everything you own and are now belongs to that little demon goblin. I mean, I love my little demon goblin, don't get me wrong.
See how I changed the subject on you?
I did.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're fooling with.
She really doesn't. I will give the movie this. I mean, the dialogue is actually, it foreshadows a lot. But the thing is that you don't realize what it's foreshadowing until much later. Well, not just much later, but it's almost impossible to see that it foreshadows anything at this time.
You know you've got mold?
Yeah, I do.
Now, see, that's decent foreshadowing because you're showing us the skylight, so you're telling me something's going to happen with that skylight. Most likely somebody falling through said skylight. Why would you try to scare her if you know her condition?
Is something going on over there? I heard a scream.
No. It's fine.
How did nobody else hear this scream, by the way? She's across the street. There's a bunch of people living right next door.
He's not a bad guy.
Not in this movie.
There's a lot of stress. It builds up.
Or
and he
is
has to
he?
Get it out. It's all right.
It's not. Look, Ethan. Whatever is going on over there, no matter how bad it gets, this is a safe place.
Is it? She really does do a really good job with the performance in this movie. That's... Yeah, bowls aren't a thing. But no, she really does do a really great job with the performance, especially a little bit later. But this is probably one of the first times that I really started to love what she's doing with it.
Don't go looking into other people's houses, Punch.
We'll find the other half of your face at some point. Now, what's the opposite of ASMR? Because that's it right there.
Anna! Ma'am. Anna. Did you stab your neighbor?
And this is where Anna starts tripping balls. Okay, now I actually like this part of the story. The fact that she's actually just so high at this point that she's not entirely sure what she saw in this moment. This actually is a really, really good way of going about it. Because you don't know exactly what you saw. Obviously, the hand on the window was probably a hallucination, but what else about it did she hallucinate? Because, I mean, even without the pills, she's, she's going through, half of 4 bottles of wine right now.
Why didn't you take a picture?
Just the important thing is that everybody's okay. Yeah.
Are they?
Well, this has been great fun.
It has. White hot ghoul action across the screen. No, you gotta do more than a name. I don't know, I think the detective part of some of these movies kind of gets... I don't know, sitting down at a computer and looking at all this stuff doesn't have the same feel as like going to a library and looking at microfilms or talking to people and things like that. I mean, I know the information's all there, but it feels like there's something missing.
I'm supposed to be in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
No, not okay. It was a bar fight. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time and I got fucking jumped and I reacted.
And why aren't you there? I mean, this seems needlessly just...
Have come
It's like it's there just for the...
I'm working on it. I'm going to
It's like it's just there for the sake of adding another complication that
dealing with it.
doesn't really need to be there. God, everything in that house is just grays and blues and just... I mean, the most colorful thing in that house is the pot roast. See, again, this feels like it's another complication that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, how did the cat get down there? I know cats are a liquid. I know that. I mean, it's physics. But, door was closed. Doesn't look like it can get outside through the front door. I mean, is there a grate or something this thing went through? I mean, this gets her down here and she finds something that's relevant to the plot, but it feels like there could have been another way of doing this.
I wish to God I could, believe me, but I can't. Everyone else can move on. I can't.
Again, all this dialogue is actually foreshadowing a lot of different things. The thing is, I mean, you can guess what it's hinting at, but it's actually, there's nothing to base it on except maybe just a guess at this point.
Stop.
Away from my son! Please!
The menace loses a little bit when he has to say please. Breakfast.
Got a last name, David?
No, just David. Like Sting.
It's
You're already violent parole and you're gonna get sassy with a detective.
This is winter.
Just I know how to identify a child who's in danger, who's being abused.
This is a really great scene for Amy Adams. It really is, actually.
I see the way that you're all looking at me.
She's got to do, like, scared but determined and vulnerable and all these different things at the same time, and I think she really does sell it. That's a great shot right there. Just, like, everybody, like, looking over her and at her in the light and everything, and it's really gorgeous in a very dark way.
And you have had a...
I've been slipping.
That's a very polite way of putting it. Yeah, let's go with that.
On my med.
Even her face right there, like, that's... like, it's hard to act with just your face like that, but I think she conveys what she's doing really, really well.
Super? Sing super. You fuck, really?
The point of me.
I'm actually liking her performance more the second time around, like knowing everything that happened and kind of picking up on all these little things that she did. There's a lot of subtle things that she does, especially early on when you don't really know what's going on. Just the way that she says things, and I totally picked them up a different way the first time, but now looking at it and seeing what she really was saying, I don't know. It's a fun performance. It really is. Was that the first picture she'd taken since they died, like 9 months, a year ago? Like, because it went from that, from like pictures of her family, to the picture she took a week ago. I mean, you still can't really see who that is, so it just proves somebody was there, but...
Her name is Katie.
What?
Ethan, the son, she is the birth mother. She ran away on him when she was 8 months pregnant. Disappeared. Alistair spent 2 years chasing her down, found her in some Oregon meth commune. He took the boy. She went to prison.
They told you this?
And see, this is where the movie kind of loses me, because she's been hallucinating so many things, and with the revelation that her family's been dead and all these things she's been seeing are imaginary. And at that point, everything you thought that you were trying to piece together, you couldn't figure out what was real and what was not. Which makes it impossible to try to figure out the mystery as a viewer. You need to have this piece of information to tie everything together, and there's really no way to figure it out on your own. So the mystery is completely unsolvable until you get this info dump, which...
Looking very much alive.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go last month, but...
That's the thing that doesn't make sense. Like, the whole I'm allergic to the cat thing got played up at the beginning, and then he sneezes this one time right now, but he's apparently been here for hours.
The trick? You killed him. It's your knife. Your house.
And you're leaving your fingerprints everywhere.
Is that a talent or a skill?
Again, we're getting a lot of the info dump on here. Like, the story, you can't figure out the mystery until you get all these things.
See,
and
now you don't like me
feels
anymore.
cheap.
I'm still figuring things out.
What does that mean?
I don't have a pattern yet.
Pattern of?
Of this. There's so many choices, right?
Yeah, you want to be John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Hannibal Lecter. I mean, kids got options. You know, it's like college.
There when it happens. I just want to watch you go.
Ew. Oh, die. Never mind. And guess what? Nobody's gonna hear her. Oh, so you can put a chip on the blade like that. That's some crap. He's a 15-year-old, not John Wick. I don't want to say that looked easy, but just pushing off to the side so you can get him on the skylight. Yeah, easy's not the right word for it, but just anticlimactic.
Which means you were right about everything you saw.
Well, I mean, technically she saw what she saw, but she didn't actually have any context for it, kind of like we, the audience. Nice job with the lighting in this movie. That's one of the things that I'm noticing a lot more the second time around. Not trying to figure out what's going on. Like the lighting is very, very well done. All right, Woman in the Window. Let's talk about it. So overall, not a bad movie. It like I was saying throughout the commentary right now, there's a lot of things I really, really liked about it. I really liked Amy Adams' performance. Gary Oldman, creepy as always, so it served as a good little red herring to who the real killer was, even though he kind of was involved anyway. The cinematography was incredible. The lighting, that sequence where she's kind of finally like losing her mind and is realizing that probably she is losing her mind was wonderful. Probably the highlight of the movie. Just sad and tense and everything. And even though that's one of the best parts of the movie, I also think it's where the movie just kind of loses it. Now, I don't watch a lot of mystery movies or shows. I guess the extent of my experience with a mystery is things like, Law and Order and CSI, which I used to watch way back in the day. But I would think that part of writing a good mystery is making it so that the mystery is solvable by the viewer. There should be enough stuff in there that you can at least start to guess and get a good idea of what's going on. The problem I'm having with this movie right now is that you can't actually solve the mystery until you get this info dump 4 minutes before the big reveal of who the killer is. Like, there's no way to actually solve it, and then the reveal that she's been hallucinating these conversations with her husband and her daughter then throws everything else that you saw out the window because you don't know what is real or not. So even if you had a good guess as to what you think was actually happening, you don't know what's real or not. Now, in a way, that's a good thing because it puts you into her mindset. But as a mystery, I think the genre kind of took a hit with it. I don't know. I'm very conflicted with it, because like I said, it's a wonderful set of scenes and of acting, but what it leads to in the last part of the story, the story's third act, is the mystery just kind of poof goes away, because one, you don't know what the evidence is true. And then you get a bunch of new evidence that completely derails anything you might have thought, and there's no way to guess what that new evidence would have been before it's given to you. So, I don't know. I'll give this, if I'm giving it a grade, I'm going to give this an A-. Subtracting the couple points just because as a mystery, I don't think it worked out too well. It also feels like, again, it's the same story of, Rear Window. What was that version that was made with Shia LaBeouf back in the day? Disturbia? Suburbia? Something like that. And I'm pretty sure there's like 2 or 3 others that I've missed, versions of this story. But ignoring that unfortunate element of the genre got kicked out the window. Fun movie. So that's it for Woman in the Window. Got some good stuff coming up. Some new stuff coming up next week, actually. We're gonna switch things up around a little bit. If you like what you're seeing, there is a link to a Patreon down there. The more subscribers we get, the more I can actually expand this. There's a lot of goodies if you subscribe. There's early access, you got Q&As, you got access to polls. You can basically tell me what you want to watch next, and I'll make it happen. So thank you very much for watching. This has been My Randomology, and I will see you later.